Alrighty, party peoples of the interwebs, Gretchen Whitmer is in a little bit of trouble, and I say it couldn't have happened to a better scumbag. Viva Frei, former Montreal litigator turned current Florida rumbler, in my home office, and I had a colleague who was stuck to the front door when I was getting into my vehicle. You'll get the joke if you stick around to the end of this vlog. But it seems that Gretchen Whitmer is in a little bit of trouble, and I say it couldn't happen to a bigger scumbag. I have said many times on this channel that hatred is a consuming force. In as much as humanly possible, you should avoid the feeling, the temptation to hate, even though it's unavoidable because we are all, after all, human, and we feel hatred to things that we hate. But it is a consuming force, and it's not only self-destructive in a physical sense, in a literal physical sense, it's also self-destructive in a strategic sense, because when you hate things too much, you end up making mistakes, much like Gretchen Whitmer, the Fed-napping victim, is so consumed by hatred for Donald Trump, she has made a very stupid mistake because of that hatred. And for those of you who might be living under a rock, or at the very least not on TikTok or Twitter or social media, you might not have seen this video of Gretchen Whitmer laying a Dorito chip down on the tongue of a woman who is on her knees with her tongue out. Yeah, if it sounds disgusting, it's because it's disgusting. And if you haven't seen the video, here's the video in all its glory.
Love you, all I do.
Now, I must admit, when I first saw this video, my first reaction was something sexual, because I don't have in my memory bank of experiences getting on my knee to receive communion for obvious reasons, so I didn't have that basis of comparison of an experience, and I immediately went to a dirtier, disgusting thing where I saw this person on her knees, sticking her tongue out, looking up at Gretchen Whitmer, who puts this thing in this woman's mouth and then looks defiantly or proudly at the camera. And by the way, did you notice the painting that's behind Gretchen Whitmer? I don't know exactly what it is, but it has something to do with communist China. So when I saw the video, I said, this is just sexual moral depravity. I would expect nothing less from Gretchen Whitmer. And then I started reading the comments to that video, and a lot of people saying this is sacrilegious. And now I understand why it's sacrilegious, because it seems that Gretchen Whitmer was in fact making fun of the Catholic religious thing of receiving communion, because that's how you receive communion. I didn't get that at first, but now that I understand that, I totally get it. And I absolutely understand that that is in fact what was going on here. Here's a lesson for the Zoomers here. If there are TikTok trends going on and you get asked to partake in one, make sure you understand what that TikTok trend is, because ignorance is not going to be an excuse when you are the governor of Michigan. And I'm looking at the hood of my car, and check this out. I think my colleague is back. Hold on. There he is, right there. Check him out. So Gretchen Whitmer is acting the fool, and she is rightly getting the blowback that she deserves. And I say that, and I now appreciate that also has a double entendre in all of this. She is getting the blowback that she deserves at a time when you don't necessarily want to be alienating a substantial portion of your base that might be religious and might find this grossly offensive, and rightly so. From Fox News, Michigan Catholic bishops condemn Whitmer's Dorito video stunt as offensive. The Catholic leader's statement said the clip represents the bar of civility and respect toward people of faith lowering by the day, by Gabriel Hayes. And before we get into the article, it might be worth reminding everyone out there, or elucidating for those who might not be aware, this is the same Gretchen Whitmer who went on NBC's Sunday morning show, and in the backdrop of her setup had 8645, which some people took to mean a call for harm to be done to 45, that being Donald Trump. 86 is typically understood as 8 miles out, 6 feet deep. 8645. It's a mob term. And then they actually had to go and scrub the internet for what it actually meant, and she said, oh, I only meant to cancel him from the menu. This is the same Gretchen Whitmer.
Welcome to Michigan, Donald Trump and JD Vance. Here are 3 things you should know about our great state. 1, here we protect reproductive freedom. We're not interested in your national abortion ban. 2, we always find ways to put money back in Michiganders' pockets by lowering the cost of prescription drugs, education, housing, and so much more. And 3, we're a proud union state, and UAW workers here still remember when Donald Trump broke his promises to Michigan workers. Oh, and one more thing. Michigan is going to reject your extreme Project 2025 agenda. Have a good trip.
She is a disgusting scoundrel, and she has a history of being a disgusting scoundrel, not the least of which is, in my humble opinion, having had some role to play in the Fed-napping plot against her, which also came about at a politically opportune time. But back to the article. Catholic officials in the state of Michigan, including its 7 diocesan bishops, condemned Governor Gretchen Whitmer's, Democrat from Minnesota, recent viral video that many people viewed as her mocking Holy Communion. Published to feminist author and filmmaker Liz Plank's Instagram page on Thursday, the clip depicted Whitmer wearing a Harris Walls hat and putting a Doritos chip into Plank's mouth as the media figure knelt down on the floor. Whitmer and Plank's viral social media clip was meant to advocate for Vice President Kamala Harris's policies ahead of the presidential election. It came from Whitmer's appearance on Plank's Chip Chat podcast that was published Thursday on YouTube. The caption for Plank's video read, quote, "If he won't, Gretchen Whitmer will. Chips aren't just delicious. The CHIPS Act is a game changer for U.S. tech and manufacturing, boosting domestic production and semiconductors to reduce reliance on foreign suppliers. Donald Trump would put that at risk," end quote. Well, that's a very good explanation, but as I often say to children, you knew what you were doing when you did it, and what you meant to do is exactly what people understood that you meant to do. It was either intended to be sexual or sacrilegious or a little from column A and a little from column B, and now you got your hands caught in the cookie jar because you are a bunch of hate-filled idiots who defy their own better judgment. As a result of that hatred, you knew what you were doing, you did it, and now you're eating crow, and rightly so. And that rhymes. In its statement, the Catholic Conference blasted the stunt. Quote, "A video posted yesterday to social media platform Instagram featuring Governor Gretchen Whitmer has prompted the state's Catholic Bishops' Conference to express profound disappointment and offense taken at the actions in the video," end quote. And because politics is what it is, and like Sun Tzu said, never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake, I think that might have actually been Napoleon. Either way, you know that the other side is going to make hay of this, as they should, and this is what is coming from Trump's camp. Former Trump advisor Tim Murtaugh, for example, posted, quote, "Let's be clear what's happening in this video. Governor Whitmer of Michigan is pretending to give communion to a leftist podcaster on her knees using a Dorito as the Eucharist while wearing a Harris Walls hat. Do they want 0 Catholic votes for Harris? Question mark, end quote." MCC President Long insisted that Whitmer's video, quote, "goes further than the viral online trend that inspired it, specifically imitating the posture and gestures of Catholics receiving the Holy Eucharist, in which we believe that Jesus Christ is truly present," end quote. He added that even if the governor denies that offending Christians was her intention, quote, "it has had an offensive impact," end quote. And although I'm tempted to not pay any attention to Gretchen Whitmer's excuse as to why she did it, in total fairness, I will tell you what her excuse was. "Ooh, I didn't mean to be offensive. I'm just an idiot." No, that's not her explanation, but it's pretty much just as bad. When asked for a comment, a political aide for Whitmer previously told Fox News Digital, quote, "The governor's social media is well known for infusing her communications with pop culture," end quote. Quote, "This popular trend has been used by countless people, including Billie Eilish, Kylie Jenner, and Stephen Colbert. And the fact that people are paying attention to a video promoting President Biden's CHIPS Act prove it's working," end quote, they said. Holy hell, Billie Eilish and Stephen Colbert. Kylie Jenner I'm less familiar with, but Billie Eilish and Stephen Colbert, they're not exactly the role models of human decency, lest I have to see Stephen Colbert dancing with vaccines again. But holy hell, pun intended, at least Gretchen Whitmer's camp is honest in what they're doing, being offensive if it means getting their message across. What a disgusting thing to do. Anyhow, as they say, sometimes your sole purpose in life is to serve as a warning for others. Gretchen Whitmer right now is serving as a warning for others. Do not get consumed by hatred, because you will do stupid things, because out of your hatred, you will actually defy your own sense of morality, assuming that Gretchen Whitmer has any morality in the first place. And as I say this, look, my colleague is back right over here. Check this out. Oh, dude, what, you think you're coming in the house? No, you're not. Alrighty, that is your vlog. If you like what I do, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure that you get notified when I put videos out there. YouTube is being super commie-tube these days with copyright claims from Televisia, whatever. The outlet that aired Kamala Harris's town hall, Univision, they are going full copyright troll on the internet. And when they copy claim the video, they demonetize it, and then YouTube has no reason to promote it whatsoever. All that to say, go to Rumble, but make sure that you've subscribed and you have notifications turned on. If you want to support the channel, VivaFrei.com for some great merch, VivaBarnesLaw.locals.com, where every Sunday night, Robert Barnes and I have the law extravaganza, but most importantly, exercise, eat healthy, sunlight, talk to people in real life, and now you know you vlog. Peace out, peeps. Booyah! Hang in there, Froggy. Seriously, can I touch you? It's on me.